My real take,
Yeah.
Nicky Manwari. I want to see it because he's made some splash plays. He had an interception on Milrow. He tried to run a screen. He picks out off pick six. Had another interception, another pick six during practice as well. Yes, it is practice, but you got to be where you're supposed to be to make plays. I just want to see him pop a couple times. I don't think he's going to play a lot because he's going to play 70 to 65% of the snaps during the regular season. But I want to see him transfer that talent. And he is sneaky big. Like if you look at him, he's not very massive when it comes to his muscles or whatnot, right? He's ripped. Don't get it twisted, but he's not like a massive person.
Yeah.
But he's long. And I stood next to him kind of the other day. You know, I sneakily size up fools. You know what I'm saying? I walk up on him like, damn, okay, I see you like 6'2", 6'3". And that creates problems for people. Right, if you're trying to block him, you're a tight end. If he walks down on you, he has those long arms, he can disrupt what you're doing. If he's dropping into coverage, he takes up just a lot of space. He has good ball skills, and he's going to have an opportunity, hopefully, to play against Geno and those starters and a Bowers and Myers over there. So I want to be talking about Nicky Manwari, and it might be off a film study. It might be when I get home, and then he does the little things. Just like we were talking about Micah Parsons the other day, and someone could not fathom him being a top 5 defensive player in the game because his sack totals don't resemble Hendrickson and Myles Garrett or whatnot. But if you put on the film, there are things that he does that disrupts the timing of an offense. That's what I hope I see out of Nicky Manwari.
I'm going to go offense for this one. We will not see Sam Darnold in this one. Again, we're not going to see any of the starters. We may see a little bit of, like, Zabel, who is going to be a starter, but also a rookie who needs to get some work. But we're not expected to see the starters, meaning Sam Darnold isn't going to be playing. That being said, one of the conversations that we always have about Sam Darnold when comparing what he could do here in Seattle to what he did do in Minnesota is, well, is he going to have the weapons around him, right? Every national expert we've brought on, hey, what do you think Sam Darnold's going to be able to do here? Do you think he's going to be able to replicate what he did with the Vikings? They always say, well, he's not going to have Justin Jefferson. Well, he's not going to have Jordan Addison. Well, he's not going to have, Kevin O'Connell calling all those plays. The better the weapons look on offense, the more confident you can feel about Sam Darnold. You can truly, after tonight's game, feel a little bit better about Sam Darnold being in Seattle if these weapons look good. You're looking at younger weapons. You're looking at Torrey Horton, for instance. But if tomorrow we're opening up the show going, oh, my God, like, your young wide receivers look really good, or your tight end looks really good, I think that it helps that Sam Darnold conversation even without him playing.
Yeah, because he needs that support. All quarterbacks need support. Jordan Love, for example. People will call me crazy. I think he'll be the best NFC quarterback next year. But if Romeo Doubs still drops the football, if Watson still drops the football, if Golden, his new receiver, still drops the football, then he's perceived differently. And that's the same thing with Sam Darnold. So it's important that the supporting cast of Sam Darnold does his thing. I'm looking at the text lines. Horton is a big name that we're seeing. A guy who you and I feel like is competing for that number 3 wide receiver spot. I still believe MVS is going to have every opportunity to lose that spot. I think he starts the season as that number 3 receiver. But no, you need Horton, you need Arroyo, you need Zach Charbonnet, you need everyone around the quarterback, the skill guys, the guys who touch the football and make plays to look good because he depends on them. I said it yesterday. He is not a wow you type of quarterback. He'll make a throw every now and then that does wow you, but he doesn't have that Pat Mahomes wow, that Josh Allen, that Lamar, even that Jordan Love will make some throws sometimes that's crazy to me. So he's not like a poor man's quarterback, but he is just a blue-collar, lunch pail type of quarterback with the potential to make those splash plays, but not as consistently as other quarterbacks. So what do you do, especially in this offense? You get your ball players or your playmakers the ball in space, and you let them run with it, and you just conduct the offense in a responsible manner.
Damian Martinez, Zach Charbonnet, and Horton are the 3 most popular answers.
Yeah, you got to throw Arroyo in there too, man.
Arroyo. 206 has Arroyo. But, yeah, I would say Torrey Horton's number 1.
Yeah.
I think just there's a lot of buzz around him.
He's made the bigger plays so far in training camp. I like Arroyo just because of his versatility. I think he's a guy that can affect the game in many ways. Like, receivers on the outside, they're going to make the big plays. They make the more plays attractive to the eye, right? You see the big play, the throw over the shoulder, the going across the middle. But there are going to be some plays where I feel like Arroyo can really establish himself and show people, look, I can block. Because that's the knock, if anything, on Arroyo's. They're not sure how much of a blocker he is. To just disrespect him and say he's not a blocker at all would be crazy. He's a tight end. He's played that position all through college. you have to be able to block. You're not going to be on the football field. But I think his other attributes kind of overshadow the potential he has to be a good blocker.
If we don't see Zabel today, I would definitely anticipate he plays in preseason week 2.
Man,
For that matter, I'd anticipate a few starters play in week 2.
I would still anticipate him getting a couple of snaps. I know that Coach said the starters aren't playing, but rookies are just different. I don't think it's smart to just crown a rookie as the definite starter, even if he is, and say, you go ahead and sit on the sideline with these guys who have been here 3, 4, 5 years and who have established themselves. Me personally, as a coach, I'm still going to treat you like a rookie. Even if you are one of the best rookies of all time, until we reach week 1, I'm still going to do some things or ask you to do some things that's required of most rookies. I would love to see him out there, but if he doesn't, then that tells me a couple things. He is ahead of schedule when it comes to understanding the offense, and physically the coaches think that he can handle it, and they feel like if he goes down, the backup isn't as capable as he is.
What are the odds that tomorrow we're really talking about Clint Kubiak? Preseason week 1 is really, really tough to expect too much from the offense and too many takeaways from the offense, but maybe like a fun twist on the answer. What do you think?
Only way we're talking about Kubiak is if the offense is balling. If it's balling, we're like, oh, my God, look at this offense. It makes so much sense. The play action, over the top, the layers. If the offense doesn't ball, we're thinking, it's preseason.
Yeah.
You know, Kubiak's just trying to fill things out and see who can do what. So he's in a win-win situation for preseason week 1 to me.
So, again, we talked about what player do we really hope we're talking about tomorrow. I said I hope it's one of the young pass catchers, Elijah Arroyo, Torrey Horton, just because I think that one of the boons of Darnold's campaign in Minnesota, and the thing that people have always pointed to is, oh my God, he had so many pieces around him. And he's not going to have that in Seattle is the then assumption. And I think that the more those young pieces develop, the more confident you can feel about him having more weapons. Bump is looking at Eamon Wari, who considering he's a second-round pick, a ton of attention because people thought that maybe he's taken in the first round. I mean, he had been mocked to Seattle prior to them trading up and getting him. And I didn't think that they would be able to get a chance at him. If they didn't trade up, they wouldn't. So obviously, like a ton of excitement about what he could look like out there. Someone said, what about, they're looking at a couple offensive linemen, Anthony Bradford, Christian Haynes. They not only want to know how important that is, but how much playing time you think those guys could be getting.
Oh, them boys going to be playing. They are going to be playing.
That's an open battle.
Yeah, Anthony Bradford right now is slotted at the starting right guard spot, depending on what depth chart you look at. You got Christian Haynes behind him. Christian Haynes last year, they said, look, he just doesn't have the grown man strength yet. He's still growing. And he's a bit undersized for his position. But in this offense, I think it's going to help him. He's 6'2", 318 pounds. You look at him, you would think more of a center type of guy, but he has great feet. He ran the zone concept over there with Connecticut with his coaches over there. So I think they're going to play a lot. I think they need to because this is a battle. I mentioned before that I anticipated them bringing in a veteran at that guard spot, and they just haven't done that yet. It doesn't mean they won't do it, but I think that their decision-making on that situation is contingent on what they see out of Anthony Bradford, Christian Haynes, Sundell, and the rest of the gang.
Again, you got a great lineup today. You got